These are $1,400 microphones, and they might just be held as the best microphones for recording acoustic guitar. And I'm going to show you the difference between these, a $400 microphone, a $20 microphone, and also a $1 microphone. So you probably have this microphone sitting nearby you even as you watch this video. What you didn't know though is that they're called MEMS microphones. They're super efficient and effective for their size. I'll link an article down below in the description if you want to read more about them. They're super interesting. So here's the vocal test and the guitar test. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. So honestly, listening back to it, there's kind of like a low buzzing hum during the whole recording, which is obviously unfortunate. It might be because the microphone itself is kind of old, so if you bought a new one, it might not have that. But it's pretty shocking, the quality of them. I mean, it's honestly way better than I thought it was going to be. It's a little bit shaky on guitar, but for recording vocals, it's pretty good. So I got this microphone from my dad's basement, so technically to me it was free. But when I looked it up, it was more like $90, but I also found it used for about 20 bucks, so not bad. This mic is what we call a supercardioid dynamic mic. Sounds really confusing, but just let me explain. So supercardioid is the polar pattern of the microphone, which just explains how when sound hits this microphone, where is it going to be picking it up the most? So here are some graphs explaining what that means. And these graphs show it in 2D, but sound is actually coming at this microphone in 3D. So here's some graphs that show that a little bit better. Now, dynamic just refers to the actual mechanical system that's in the microphone. So dynamic microphones use electromagnetic energy to turn your sound into an electrical signal that gets put into your DAW. It's pretty crazy whenever you actually look into everything. So let's hear the vocal test and the guitar test for this guy. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Yeah, so this microphone is definitely better than the first one in the sense that there's better sound rejection. You know, there's not like this buzz underneath. But you can probably also tell that there's a lot of high end for this microphone that's getting cut off. So you sound kind of like muted almost. Yeah, so I mean, this is definitely good for if you're like on stage at a live performance or something like that. But this microphone is, you know, not that great. Hey, now that you're really smart and you know how microphones work, did you know that speakers work the same way, just in reverse? No, really, you can use your headphones as a microphone. Take a look at this.
Check 1 2, check 1 2. I'm talking into my headphones.
Anyway, so you probably recognize this next microphone. It's a Shure SM7B, and it's kind of upheld as the podcast microphone. This mic is actually also a dynamic mic, but this has a cardioid polar pattern. So it's very similar to the mic from earlier, but this one has a lot better sound rejection at the back of the microphone. So this is really good for applications and uses like, I don't know, podcasts. This mic also has a bass proximity feature, which means the closer that you get up to the mic, the more that bass frequencies are going to be present, and it makes you sound like you're on a podcast. But one thing they don't tell you about this microphone is that it is super weak sauce. It has like no power, and you need an external power amplifier just to get the signal like usable. It's pretty crazy. So a lot of people buy what's called a cloud lifter along with this microphone, and it makes the total cost more like 650 bucks. So yikes. So here come the vocal and guitar tests. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Yeah, okay, so obviously you pay more, it's gonna sound better. The vocals on this mic sound really, really good. The guitar sounds pretty good. I feel like it's still missing a decent amount of high-end information. So I'm excited to see how that stacks up against the other microphones. So finally, the moment that we have all been waiting for, the beautiful Neumann KM184. But first, a word from our sponsor. Just kidding, I don't have any sponsors, so let's get into it. So these microphones came as a stereo pair that cost me $1,400. I got them on sale. I think they're more typically like $1,600 or $1,700, so I got them brand new as a steal. It was awesome. And these are actually a modern recreation of the Neumann KM84. And I've seen those microphones go for like $8,000, so even bigger yikes there. And so these guys are condenser mics. They have a different mechanism in them than the dynamic mics that we saw earlier in the video. Condenser mics have two metal plates, and those plates work together to capture the sound. These Neumanns get a lot better high-end information pickup, which we saw was kind of a problem with some of the other microphones. So that's why it's going to make it really good for recording acoustic guitar. A lot of other people have also talked about this microphone. Paul Davids, Sean Daniel, and Fabian Holland all reviewed this microphone and put it as one of their absolute all-time favorites for recording acoustic guitar. I've even used it myself on my record to record the acoustic guitars and pretty much all the vocals. So let's hear this thing, baby. Let's go. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. So yeah, definitely worth the price. You could see on the vocal test, I actually hold it pretty far away from my face because the closer up you get, all those plosives coming from your mouth are really gonna mess with the action of the microphone. So if you record vocals with that, make sure that you just, keep a good, honestly, like a foot between yourself and the microphone. For the acoustic guitar though, it was just, wow, it's just beautiful. You put something expensive in front of a good guitar player and it's gonna sound just incredible. So it's probably no surprise that obviously this super expensive microphone sounds very, very good for acoustic guitar. But is it the best sounding one? If you ask me, honestly and genuinely, this is what I will say, that none of them are the best microphone because it depends on what kind of scenario you're looking for. You might want the absolute cleanest, most crisp sounding guitar, like if you're Adele playing just an acoustic guitar track, you're gonna want it sounding great. But maybe you're making the hardest beat ever. You need it to just be completely distorted. You're just trying to get a microphone that's just gonna destroy whatever you're recording and just sound sick. Well, guess what? The $1 microphone all of a sudden is better than the $1,400 microphones. So it's impossible to determine which is the best one. Thanks for watching. If you want to learn more, click here, and until next time, peace.